Yeah, it's just I'm doing like a billion different things around here.
No one has ever really seen what Johnny Bean looks like.
Yeah. Well, that's me on that thing right there.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, this is Johnny Bean. Live Google Hangout this fine Saturday. 1:12 p.m. Pacific, 4:12, 4:13 now. Pacific Eastern Time, 3:26:16. And I got Dave Nesdahl.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
All right. Got Rob Johnson.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yo. And Larry Riker.
What's
How you
happening,
doing?
Larry?
Yo. Yo, so Larry's got a pretty interesting guitar he would like to talk about and show us and discuss with everybody.
Awesome.
So I'm going to share some links so people can watch this thing live as it's happening, and I'll be right back. So take it away, Larry.
What you
Sure.
got, Jerry?
All right. So what I got here is a Voyager series Stratocaster, I guess you would call it.
Nice.
Let's start at with the neck. We got the what is this? A chicken beak neck, I believe they call it.
Chicken Hawk, yeah.
Chicken. I turn it this way because I can't get it that way. Let me see. There we go. This is Kramer Voyager series, and it doesn't have the patent pending logo on it.
Right.
Right? We got Allen key holder on the back, 1 5/8 nut width, and rosewood fretboard. Maple.
Beautiful dark piece of rosewood too.
It's great, and it rarely needs to be adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly ever. Luckily, because it's in the adjustments on this end.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you should be able to get to that even with the with it on the body, right? Doesn't the body have a little cutout for it there?
There's a cutout for it, but I mean it's a screw instead of an
Yeah,
Allen.
you can use a flathead screwdriver. You don't have to use a Phillips head. You can use a flathead and it'll work.
It's pretty cool.
It is.
What else did they? You know what else is weird on here is, this guitar's all original too. I'm the original. I bought it. There's been no changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
the
did you buy it in, Larry?
best I can remember is '85.
Yeah.
And I bought it in Long Branch, New Jersey, which is pretty close to the Neptune factory.
Right.
Sure.
I lived down that way during those years. So I bought it. I hopped on a bus and I went up to Long Branch and I bought it at a guitar shop. It was in the window. Came with a hard shell case, Kramer case.
What color's the case? Black or brown?
It's black. I have it right here.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
What's left of the gold logo up in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the same lettering as on the neck.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's probably, I'm going to say, a 1983 guitar.
Okay. Yeah, that's good information. There's no serial numbers on it, so it's just
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing. So that's the neck. Let's go to the neck plate.
Oh, you were going to say something about the tuning pegs on that?
Oh, there's a hole for screws, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't put no screws in.
Well, that's very funny.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And they don't move. They don't move.
In the great words of Paul Unkert, very willy-nilly of them.
Yes.
Like it's tape lines, they can tape. They just cut them willy-nilly. That's what he always says.
Then this the
Okay,
plate.
so that's a gold. That's a gold Kramer plate. That's the smaller plate, correct?
Yeah, it just says Kramer made in USA, nothing else.
Very cool.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And from what I read about this, they just say these are custom-made plates. I don't really know what that means.
Well,
Dave, have you seen anything without serial numbers like that before?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's how they come at Kramer, and at Kramer they had what's called an arbor press.
Yeah.
And see, all of those plates, none of them had serial numbers in it. When they built the guitar, just before they put the plate on the guitar, they'd stamp a number on it.
Right.
So if it was, if it's possible that if that guitar was a custom-made guitar, maybe they forgot to put a stamp on it, or if it was totally custom, something that they don't offer, like like I've never seen another red with gold hardware. I've never seen another one like that.
Yeah,
So,
I was
so
thinking that.
with they might not have wanted to if they don't offer it as a model, the chances are they wouldn't put a serial number on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's pretty interesting.
That is pretty cool. I love that neck. And typically it's just like Larry's guitar is very similar to ours in that it's got those original gold Godos.
Yeah, they are gold, correct?
Yeah, it's
Yep,
worn
that's
down a
cool.
little bit, but
Yeah, that's
gold.
very cool. And those are the same exact ones that are on Eddie Van Halen's 5150 guitar, just in gold and not chrome.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. It's a thin neck. I mean, I can get all the way right. It feels thinner than a Strat neck.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of thin. That's pretty cool. Is there anything? What does it say on the butt end of the guitar of the neck? Does it say anything?
No.
Or underneath it?
No, the only thing there is some holes screwed that aren't used. Like these two in the middle.
Yeah, that's probably they probably have those there. So when they shot clear on that neck, that's probably how it was held up.
Right. Pretty cool.
That is very cool.
What do we want next? We want to go to let's look at the Floyd for it. We'll go there next. I took this off. I think this is just an original Floyd. It's stamped made in Germany.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
Yep. Let's see the block. Okay, so that is that's one of the regular steel blocks.
Yep.
And let me see where the word Floyd Rose is placed on the front. Okay, that is not a whale tail, but it's a very early Floyd, so it's cool. Very early, like 83 Floyd.
Yeah, so we keep hitting that 83.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I just got to let the dog out. You can keep talking though.
Sure.
Larry, when you I noticed you got the guitar in parts. What's the purpose for that?
I had the strings on it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna restring it. And I had it apart probably 20 years ago, and I knew that there was something in the neck joint.
Yep. Yep.
And for some reason, I was thinking it was like half of a matchbook. So I wanted to and I also wanted to get a look at the back of the Schaller pickup.
Yeah, sure.
See that it was a Schaller, so I was like, let me take it apart, and it's easier to show the pieces.
Absolutely.
On
Get a
camera.
little more history on the background of the guitar by doing that. And the reason I ask is because I've had a couple of my guitars I've done the exact same thing to. I've taken them apart just to see if there's any markings underneath the neck pocket, see if there's any markings in the body, the neck elbow joint. And then, like you said, also the pickup. You want to take a look sometimes what's underneath that. It is pretty cool to take them down and check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's providing a lot of information.
Absolutely. Do you have any other Kramers?
No, this is the only one.
Nice.
And it's the only one I've ever had. First guitar I ever bought.
Yeah.
I said I took the bus, Academy bus lines up to Long Branch and bought it.
That's pretty good. Is that around when you started playing, like in the early mid-'80s?
Yeah, probably 83-ish. I got my first one.
Yep.
From my parents, and then this is the first real guitar I got.
Yeah.
And given the closeness to the factory, who knows?
Yeah.
What this is, or how, maybe somebody at the guitar store had a relationship with people at Kramer. I don't know.
Yeah. You never know, I guess.
Who knows? But Kramer made stuff like this, so it's out there. All right, I'm going on the body. And this is kind of why I originally took it apart, is I knew something was in the neck pocket.
That is so cool.
And I got these Fender picks glued in there.
I've seen that before. I've seen companies actually do that before with picks to use them as shims. I've seen them use this. I've seen business cards used. I've seen playing cards used and kind of stacked on top of each other. But that's pretty cool that Kramer used Fender picks.
I know. I found that pretty funny.
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, and it's for the Floyd cut. I noticed this today.
Oh, you okay, Dave?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just keep talking.
Where the scenes
I had to move it to my room because Dennis just got home. He's gonna practice. So. You know what? There.
He's
How
like
about
using a
that?
screwdriver or something. By the way, Alberto says hello.
Hello,
Alberto,
Alberta.
what's happening?
All right. You see how
Love the gold hardware.
where the Floyd was?
Is that a crack on the screw? Next to the screw into the body and the wood.
Yeah, this cracked. This cracked.
Dave, you and I were talking about that. You, Johnny, and I were talking about that back a few hangouts ago. We were talking about how a lot of those old Kramers and you know, not to turn this into an Eddie Van Halen conversation because it's not, but Eddie's guitars were famous for that as well, especially that heavy metal Kramer guitar, the blue headstock one. A lot of guitars, and just like that one, I don't know if you saw the picture. It's got a split in the wood where the Floyd pivot screw goes in. That little tiny section in between the Floyd, where the Floyd fits down in.
Mm-hmm.
Famous. Those Kramer guitars are famous for that. I have one too, Larry. One of my Kramer guitars is just like that. Has that, and it's on the same one. It's on the bottom screw, bottom pivot screw.
Yeah, it happens with those, especially if they're cut close to that big hole. You know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, honestly, Larry, I bet it doesn't affect the playability because it's probably just a hairline crack, right?
Well, let me get it on this side. It's up here. The top one cracked here, and it was pulling, you know, with the tension. It's filled in. I had a local music shop fill it in so it would prevent it from breaking more.
Right.
There's got like wood filler or something in here, and
That's
then
okay.
there is some sort of a crack line from there to the back, from the pole to the back, but that's not real bad. That's more cosmetic, I think.
Sure. Look at
Does
that
the
neck.
guitar stay in tune? Does it stay in tune, or does it go out of tune a little bit?
It stays in tune great.
And that's all you have to worry about.
I'm not one that uses the tremolo a lot. I use it, but not a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Look at that jack plate, Dave. Do you see that jack plate that he's got on there? That gold, like kind of vintage Kramer. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
Then today I noticed when I took the Floyd off that the body has, and this might be normal, but it has the 6 holes filled in.
Yeah.
I didn't know how common that is.
Some of them get done, some of them don't. That's fine though.
That would hold more of a Strat.
Yeah, that probably at one time had a Strat bridge on it. Because I think David Allen has a Strat like that with a regular standard bridge on it. So I know they were making them like that back then. They weren't. Yeah. They didn't all have Floyd Roses. And that's probably standard. That's probably, you know, they took they didn't make a body for that guitar. That was just a regular body that was on the line, and they drilled the holes for the Floyd screws.
Do you have that Floyd sit flush to the body, Larry, or does it float? Typically, how you have it set up?
It's right like that. It sits right above the body a little bit.
Yeah, but does it rest on the body or
yes.
Okay, that's good.
It doesn't go down.
you can only press down. You can't go up with it, correct?
Correct.
You can't pull up. Okay, that's good. That's fine.
Correct.
So it acts like a Fender style bridge. So that's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, there was never a back plate on this. There's no holes for a back plate.
Uh-huh.
That's very cool.
There's initials in this pocket here that seem to read PJZ.
Right.
From the best that I can
I don't
tell.
know who that is though. I'll check that out. I'll find out.
But it could be, you know, it definitely looks like a J and a Z. The P could be a D. I don't know.
Hang on. Eddie wants to see. Hang on a second.
Hey. There you go. those initials, those initials again appear in the body cavity, in the humbucker, where the humbucker goes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's pretty neat. And then we got the back, you know,
Sure.
the back of the Schaller, and there's some sticker up in there with some numbers on it.
Oh yeah. That'll actually identify if that's a bridge or a neck pickup.
What does it say? Can you?
A lot of times
can
there's a
you-
sticker in there, and sometimes it'll say neck, sometimes it'll say bridge, but there's also numbers too.
It just has numbers, and it says 6784-3.
No, okay. I don't know.
Then under that, it says made in Germany.
Yeah. Schaller is a German company.
Yeah, and the single coils don't say anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all original.
Yeah, it's very similar to this one I got too. It's I just found one of my Schaller pickups, and it's the same exact thing. It's a zebra one. You can see it also says bridge. It's a Schaller. It says bridge. And
Oh.
Johnny was just saying, yeah, it's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yours though, Rob, yours is like yours has the hex
Yeah,
pieces.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I got
So that's more like a super distortion kind of.
Yeah, and you're right,
Mhm.
Johnny. It looks like a DiMarzio. It does. It's very much like a DiMarzio.
Because I believe the one that Larry has most likely has the top poles are all non-adjustable and the bottom poles are all adjustable by like screwdriver.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Yes. I haven't seen this pickup anywhere.
I love the color on that thing.
Yeah, that's the dual cream and the 5-way switch is the same color.
Yeah,
Very cool.
The cream on it.
Very cool.
that's totally how you bought it brand new back in '85, huh?
Yep, right out of the store. It was in the window.
That's awesome.
I mean that color combination would all be like a custom combination, wouldn't it? The gold and the red and.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, I have never seen. I mean, it would normally come with chrome hardware. It would never really come with gold hardware.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So it might have been, it might have been made for an artist. Generally, they wouldn't have made a custom guitar for the regular public. It probably would have had to have been for an artist, and either the artist didn't want it, or maybe it was used, by the artist, and he, for some reason he didn't want it or didn't take it, and they sent it to a store. That's or here's the other thing that could have happened is maybe they had gold Floyd Roses in stock and they didn't have any chrome in stock, and they needed to make that sale, and they put gold hardware on it. You never know. With Kramer, anything is possible. Really is.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
With Larry being that close to the factory, though, makes it very interesting.
Yeah, it
That
does.
anything could have gotten out of there, and being that, as close as you are, Larry, to that
Yeah.
where they were or whatever. Yeah, that could have been some super duper. Is that a word? Super duper guitar. And you got lucky. It got sent to a store or who knows what. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's different.
I love the combination though. Like you said, Dave. I keep looking at it, going, wow. Cream colored pickup, white pick guard, cream colored toggle switch, white knobs, and gold hardware. That is just so cool. And
Yeah.
two white single coils.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering was that pickup cream when you first got it in '85? Do you remember, or did it change color maybe?
No, it was.
Oh, okay.
It's cream. Yep.
Yeah. It's cool.
Definitely, very,
It doesn't
very.
get much cooler than that.
No, it doesn't. That's a cool guitar.
Was that guitar red when you first got it, or did it change color?
I don't think. I don't.
It was blue when he-
Yeah.
When you were born, no.
Lord.
Hey, Vinny, how you doing, man? Real quick. Yo, Vinny, how you doing? Mario, what's up? Davin, Alberto, look at me. I'm eating. This is breakfast in Santa Cruz, California. This is breakfast. Potato chips.
Chips.
What
What kind of chips are those, Johnny?
365 brand. What do you call them? Ridged. It's like the whole. It's like Whole Foods version of like a Ruffle or whatever.
Yeah, like a Ruffles.
Ridge.
From Kramer guitars to potato chips, we have all kinds of topics we discuss.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. What kind of potato chips do you like, Vinny?
Were those chips that color when you bought them?
Yeah.
Well, the bag was open. The bag was in the cupboard when I moved in. No, but here's a quick story.
They're not going to be that color later.
When we used to live in this house in Berkeley, in the Berkeley Hills, Berkeley, California, and when we moved in, there was a cupboard like way up that hadn't been touched since the 70s, right? So we open it up and it's full of all like old liquor bottles, right? Stuff that's been there. And this when we lived in the house, this was what year is this? This was about 12 years ago when we lived there. But the stuff in the cupboard was there like it had to have been there since the 70s because of the dates on the stuff. You know, there was like cups for like some congressman or somebody running for something had the year on them. You know, it was cool. It was cool. The whole house was actually very 70s. The person who lived there before us, it was never remodeled ever. So I had a great time. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
But let's see. Alberto is saying he's been very busy. Davin says hello. Mario says, hey guys.
What's up, David? Yeah, I've been fielding a lot of questions on Facebook from some of those guys on the EV replicas page on paint colors and stuff like that, and really cool questions. Really cool. But Larry, that is an awesome guitar. That really is very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody knows something. I mean, as far as doing a video like this, somebody's going to pop up at some point and say, oh yeah, that was this or that, or somebody who actually worked at Kramer will see this at one point.
Yeah. You know what, guys? Dave and Johnny, that would have been a very cool guitar to show Paul, and just get some feedback from him on that. He probably could tell us who the initials belong to, and B, he probably would have a little bit more information on the on the gold hardware and kind of the willy-nilliness of that particular model.
It's entirely possible, since those initials might be the artist it was made for.
That's true. That's true.
And if it is an artist-made guitar, chances are Paul made that guitar, because he only built guitars for artists. He didn't build. He didn't build guitars for the public. He only built the artist guitars.
Right.
He stamped his though, right?
Not necessarily. He stamped Eddie's.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't. I don't think he stamped all of them.
That makes sense.
And you guys can't hear me chewing, can you?
No.
Yeah, really. Very.
Well, yeah, now you can.
I can't believe the writing's still back there behind the springs, Yeah. After all these years, it's still written in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Well, we could send this video to Paul. Right? Does he watch? He could see it.
Paul?
Yeah. And he could look at it.
He knows how to use a computer.
No, he told me. He told me he has a computer.
Oh, yeah, he has one, but does he use it?
He does use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was there in '83? He was only there a short period, right?
He was there. He was there until about January or February of '83.
Okay.
I think he said January, but I'm sure a lot of the stuff that he did was left over. I mean, that
Yeah.
was the whole thing talking about the Eddie's 5150 guitar, how the stuff was probably just left over, you know?
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah, I watched that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was fun.
That talking to him.
Yeah, he's really, really nice. And these guys got to hang out. These guys got to have dinner with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably one of the few guys that I've met in my lifetime that has as much history and kind of cool stories about rock stars and artists that just acts like your average Joe. I mean, I know a lot of them are like that, but he was just so cool. And the interesting thing is the guy still has the shop in Tom's River, and he still works on a lot of famous people's guitars. He had a couple really cool guitars there when we were down there, and he was telling us about it. And he's just a real good guy and very down to earth, very cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
We went out to dinner, and he's got his shirt untucked, and he's just we just walk into this real cool place that he recommended, maybe 5 miles from his house, and just a real cool dude, and just a good old soul,
Yeah. Just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And
And
very
he opened
friendly.
up to
Very
us.
friendly guy.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. He brought with him. I won't discuss what was in it. There were some really cool items that he showed us at dinner time. Dave, Anthony Sajazi, myself, and him, and he just brought some really cool, items that he'd had since the Eddie Van Halen days in the '80s. Working with Kramer for those 18 months, and he really opened up to us and showed us a lot of cool stuff. It was just great. It was a very fun weekend. Had a great time. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there's a lot of cool people out there that it would be fun to hear from and get their take on guitars like what Larry has too. Because in addition to guys like Paul Unker, I'm sure there's other individuals that were very well exposed to items like that. And had their fingers in the pies, so to speak, when it came to dealing with those types of guitars. Because I'll tell you, I mean, that is a really cool guitar, Larry. It really is.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's great that you've held on to it for all these years. I mean, it's funny, it's almost a shame. Johnny, Dave, you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, Johnny's, one of his guitars, the Kramer Ripley, he picked it up at a pawn shop here. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in guitar shops, local. You see these old school Kramers just kind of, hanging out with this history to them, and it's like, where did this thing come from? And the funny thing about my area is when you see a Kramer come up, people don't realize what they're worth. They don't realize the history behind them. They just, it's one of those old Kramer '80s guitars.
Yeah.
It's
It's a Floyd Rose guitar. Get away,
Yeah, get away. They hate the Floyds,
That it's I don't know. I use them all the time. I mean, I use other guitars, Tellys, Strats, and Les Pauls. I gig with those, but the Floyd Rose stuff is just as good. It doesn't. It's not any less of a guitar.
Right.
Especially the way we have them set up, where the bridge is not floating.
Right.
If it's sitting against the body, it's going to resonate the same way as a Fender bridge, and especially with a big brass block on it, it's not gonna sound any thinner than a Fender guitar, or any normal humbucker guitar with a non-trem style bridge.
Yeah. It's funny, too. I mean, like, as I get older, I play, my taste in music gets a little bit more versatile than it used to be. I mean, it used to just be, Van Halen, AC/DC,
and that was just last week.
I mean, honestly, as I do get older, though, my appreciation for a lot of different music expands. I mean, even, when you have kids, too, I mean, it expands. I mean, some of the music they listen to I don't really care for, but, I just picked up a Strat the other day, a Mexican Fender Strat. And I've been having a ball with that thing. And I've been playing. I got my chips and Phipps and Les Paul right here, And I've been having a ball playing the non-whammy guitars because it's forcing me to look at guitar playing in a different light than what, they're just doing bar dives and harmonic squeals and, all that stuff. It's cool, but definitely a lot to look into, no doubt.
I definitely agree with you there. I agree. It makes you play differently than you would normally.
Yep.
It makes you think differently as well.
And then we grab a Steinberger Transtrum and it's all over, right, Dave?
I hate you.
That just totally, you just go nuts with that kind of a bar,
Yeah. Yeah, you made me just hate you.
Dave's like, I just vomited in my mouth,
Damn it.
Is that a Vito Bratta guitar?
No, it's a GL2 like Eddie's, the little box.
Okay.
Little broomstick.
In fact, it's so much like Eddie's that it could have been Eddie's because it's from '85. So chances are Jeff Babbitt's made that guitar, and then this guy here has to go paint it exactly like Eddie's, and it's insane. The guitar is probably one of the best guitars I've ever played in my life. So
what I enjoyed most about it is when I was down seeing Dave a few weeks ago. I brought that guitar with me along with a couple others, and Dave and I, we worked on some guitars and played some guitar. It was great. But watching Dave play the guitar and also his roommate, Dennis, this awesome guy, incredible guitar player, has a kick-ass band. The guy's going to go places, no doubt. The guy's he's just destined for greatness, no doubt. He's just an amazing guitar player. But watching him pick this thing up and not even really have much interest in playing a guitar like that, it's just not his style. But watching him just pick it up and automatically know what to do with it, how to use it, how to kind of, just manipulate his way around the fretboard and use the bar to play in different keys. It's amazing when you watch an artist like that work, and Dave as well. I mean, Dave picked it up and knew just what to do with it. And it was cool just watching those guys. It's I have a couple of passions in my life. One of them obviously is guitar and Van Halen and that kind of stuff, but another one is firearms. And when you get into machine guns and things like that, I have a pretty interesting gun collection as well. And as I get older, I enjoy watching other people use these things. Obviously under my supervision when you come to something like that. But it's interesting that it was just so fun watching Dave's face and Dennis's face when they were messing with that thing, because it was so cool, And I actually learned a few things about the guitar myself that, just by watching them play it,
Yeah, you certainly don't want to be shooting yourself with a guitar.
Or stabbing yourself. Those Kramer headstocks, Dave, you got to watch out for those. They're sharp,
Yeah, you can get killed by this chicken beak.
Those damn hawk beaks, or what does Paul call them? Hawk necks, or what are they?
Chicken hawk.
Chicken hawk.
So funny.
Yeah, well, some of those Kramer bodies though are really sharp too. I used to have a Focus.
Yeah.
What was it? Focus. It wasn't. Was it a 5,000, 6,000?
Yeah, real thin bodies.
I mean, it had this point that went all the way out. It was crazy.
Didn't Kramer make one of the Simmons basses? One of the axe basses?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if the axe bass part, the body was made by Kramer, but they definitely stuck a Kramer neck on it.
Didn't Paul say he made? Didn't he say he made those?
I don't remember.
I think he said he actually made those.
Wow. Cool.
Did it have an aluminum neck?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Did it have an aluminum neck?
I think so. I don't know.
I
I think he said that. Yeah. Yeah.
Paul, did you make that neck? Where are you, Paul? Paul. John, Ringo, George. Sorry.
Good stuff.
You guys ever heard of Martin potato chips?
Yeah, they're made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, near the Martin factory.
Okay, that's Vinny's favorite.
Really?
Doesn't Vinny live in Pennsylvania?
Yes, he does.
Wow.
With the triple O size, or
Yes. The
Triple O size chip.
That's a big chip.
Vinny's a cool dude. I like Vinny.
Yeah.
Very good guy.
Someone said something. Oh, Alberto. Alberto says, quick question about Paul Unkert. Does he do stainless refret jobs?
I'm sure he will. I'm sure it'll cost you a lot of money though, because stainless is so hard to work with.
Alberto says he'll be in the area soon. Hopefully
Alberto,
soon.
just call Paul up. It's
Maybe he'll take his guitar over to him.
Alberto, call up Paul and ask him. I don't have his number in my head, but if you his website is The Original Guitar Guy, theoriginalguitarguy.com, I believe, and his phone number will be in there.
Phone number?
Yeah, you can shout out his phone number. He doesn't mind.
I have it right here.
Or you know what? Text
732.
Okay.
Area code 732-270-1479.
Don't call him today though, because he won't answer the phone on the weekends.
And if you want to prank call him, say you're David Nesdahl.
Please don't, because Paul has a couple of my guitars right now.
I think Paul would be keeping a couple of your guitars.
Yeah.
If you want to call up with David Nesdahl's voice, yeah, Paul, you can go ahead and cut that guitar up, please.
I still laugh.
And use that voice. Okay, Alberto says cool. Thank you.
Wow.
Johnny, remember that story you were telling like a few months ago? You were saying like you used to, when you were a kid, you used to pick up the phone and like call Johnny Beans and be like, "Hi, is this Johnny Bean?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And you'd be like, "Well, that's a weird name." Click.
Yeah. Any town I was in, I would find the phone book and find my name in the phone book and just call each person and say, "Is this Johnny Bean?" They'd be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, that's a funny name." Just like hang up. You know? And it's my name, so I couldn't get in trouble for it, right? If the police, if they came and found me, you know, they realize I had the same name, or maybe they think I
all you have to say is, yeah, some moron called me and that same prank. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
Like what I used to do to hitchhikers years ago. I used to see a hitchhiker. I'd drive by him and I'd slow down and I'd pull up about 50 yards ahead of them. So they'd be, then I'd stop, run, go to the window, and I'd be like, "Where are you headed?" They'd be like, "Heading to Boston." "Okay, I'll tell them you're coming, Florence." I'd look at the rear view mirror, there'd always be finger gestures and all kinds of,
That's funny.
It wasn't a goodbye.
It'd be birds flying.
Out here in Santa Cruz, you see hitchhikers everywhere.
You get shot.
You know, but they're people you don't really want to pick up.
Yeah, because you get stabbed. They'll take your car.
Yep.
They'll leave your car and take you.
Yeah, I know. Or your guitar.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. What else? Somebody's saying something here.
Okay.
Somebody's cranking us. No, I'm just kidding. Man, my fingers are so greasy from those potato chips.
Are you Johnny Bean? That's a funny name.
Johnny, do you like vanilla bean ice cream?
Yeah,
Do you like pinto beans?
I do. I like coffee beans too. Good day.
Catalinis?
Enjoying the chat. Darren
Who said
Van Frankenstein.
Who's the
Darren?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, Darren. Is that the guy on the EVH replicas? I think I've heard of him.
The official Sazorocks?
What the hell does that mean?
Channel. That's the name of his page on YouTube.
Oh. Okay.
Sazorocks? Sozorox. Can you hear that?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I got somebody's about to mow my lawn.
Oh.
man, no, I don't hear that. I just hear guitar playing.
Oh. I got major lawnmowers going on out there. Oh, and then Bruce Wayne chimes in. What are your favorite? Huh? What are your favorite versions of the Frankenstrat?
I go back and forth on this, and I still can't decide because I've had all three necks on my Frankenstrat, and I even at one time had the women and children first weird-looking kind of oval-shaped pickguard that he had on there, which did not cover all of the cavity route. I have never, I've never done a '79 era Frankenstrat. A very brief time, '79-'80, where he had the white pickguard on it. Never was really one of my favorites, you know, with the vintage Fender bridge on it. And I've never really done the pre-'78 Frankenstrat where he had the rosewood neck on it. You guys know what I'm talking about on that one.
Yep.
Just picture that. I've never been really a big fan of that. I've always been a fan of either the black and white '78 version or, you know, the, I guess I would say 1980 and prior version. However, like I said, as far as the necks are concerned, obviously the original Frankenstrat neck, you know, the one that Eddie has on there today with the crown heads. I guess that's what I have on my guitar now as of a couple of weeks ago. I used to have one on there, then I went and had a hockey stick neck put on there, you know, from the OU812 era up until about '93. Got kind of sick of that. Then I went back to the chicken hawk neck, as Paul calls them. You know, the Us Festival jump video neck. I've always loved that one with a little piece of taken out of the R. Very hard for me to determine because I go through phases. I guess if I had to pick one particular neck that's my favorite, I would say for that guitar it would be the Chicken Hawk neck, the jump video. That's my favorite. Oh, and by the way, just real quick, Eric Broadbent just posted this. So it must be something for Easter on Facebook. He's got some bunny ears, so happy Easter! Happy Easter from Eric Broadbent.
That's nice. Is the Tooth Fairy next to him?
Do they celebrate Easter in Canada?
Eric, if you're watching this, this is those are pretty cool ears. I do like them. How about you, Dave? What about Frankenstrat for you?
Oh boy.
Who's playing guitar?
Huh?
Who's playing guitar?
No, that's Dennis. He's got a gig tonight and he's
Oh, okay.
practicing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that rude and keep playing while we're talking. You know, it's not.
I couldn't tell where the music was coming.
Huh? Yeah, you would. At first, I did think it was you sitting there because you can't see your hands, you know. But then I remember you told me before. You're like, yeah, Dennis is gonna be playing, and it does sound kind of far away.
Yeah.
Show me your hand.
Well, I have the door. I have the door closed and.
Well, I've got a lawnmower. My landlord's mowing my front yard.
I left my dog outside.
She wrapped around the pole again.
No. No, oh, it sounds like she's outside my door. You know what? Let me tell you my favorite Frankenstrat, and then I got a letter in the room. It's probably as it looks right now, just because I mean that's how I really have come to know it. I love the neck that's on it. You know, that Frankie neck is it's amazing, and you know, who doesn't love a Fender headstock? Come on, you know.
Yeah.
I would like to make a beak neck version of it. Maybe someday someone will send me a beak neck.
I knew that was coming. Yeah. I guarantee you, Dave. You bothered me enough about it. It will be in the mail to you for free.
Nah, no.
Right now, no. I don't. I'm just joking. I probably one of these days will send it your way. Right now, it's hanging on the wall next to the hockey stick Frankie neck.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want you to give me one anyway. It's maybe a decal. Maybe you could find me a decal, and I'll get my own neck. But Because the decal with the R with the R cut out of it is very hard to find.
I know, but all you got to do is just make it. Just put the regular, what I've done, and this is what a couple of other people have taught me to do over the years. You put the decal on, you let it dry, and you give it about 2 weeks or more, and you take an X-Acto knife and you can cut that piece right out. It's perfect.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've always done with, and that's what mine upstairs is too, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
But you got to let it dry long enough to where it gets that kind of brittleness to it once you start working with it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so yeah, that neck that's on it now, which is the neck, I suppose, that was on the Rasta guitar before it was taken apart. That's the neck.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'll be right back. Got to let the dog in the room.
Hey, one quick question, Dave, before you go. Who painted the Rasta headstock? Was that Eddie? Or
Eddie did. Yeah, that was done in early '83. Because you see it in the outtakes of the Jump video. You see, you can find it, and I think Johnny has it as well somewhere. But one of the roadies, huh?
You asked if I have that video somewhere.
Yeah.
It's under the couch there.
Yeah. All right. So basically, a roadie knocks on Eddie's hotel room door with a guitar case and throws it into the room. And leaves. And
Yeah.
in the next thing you see is Eddie coming out of the hotel room with the body and the neck in two separate hands. And the headstock is painted, and he just drops the guitar, outside.
Yeah.
So he painted it somewhere in that time area.
Okay. I do remember that now. I have that video somewhere, but I've actually forgotten about that. Now that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
How about you, Larry? As far as the Frankenstrat, what would your favorite version of the guitar be?
I don't know the ins and outs of the versions of those guitars, unfortunately.
What about you?
Okay, who's singing? Is Dave singing now?
Dave, show me your hands. Yeah.
Dave, show me your mouth.
Oh, you guys, you guys and your jokes. You guys and your
step out of the room for 30 seconds and you get crucified.
You like beans, David?
Do I like beans? Yeah, I do. You'll start smelling it soon.
Oh.
You went there, brother. You went there, and I gave it to you with both barrels.
Alberto. Huh? So what are we asking? Oh, am I distorting?
No.
I'm distorting to me. But you sure? I'm not. Am I hot, you guys?
Yeah, you're very hot. That's what the sunglasses are for.
Am I hot right now? Do I sound hot to you? Oh, I sound hot to me. No, really, I'm distorting. I'm not distorting to you guys.
A little bit on the high, a little bit on the low.
Okay. I'm distorting really badly for some reason. There we go. Okay, that should be good. So what? The favorite Frankenstein version, whatever?
Yeah.
Is that what he asked? My favorite was always the 79 version.
Yeah.
With all three pickups, the Telecaster pickup in the middle. The what do you call it? The jack plate. The jack plate that he used as strap locks.
Yeah, the Gibson jack plate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was really cool. Really cool. To me. That was always my favorite.
I got a cat that wants to come in. Come on, come in. My animals don't like country music.
Get me away.
Everybody wants it. Now all the rats in the house are gonna want it. Dave will be like Snow White in a minute.
Yeah, the only rat I have here is Warren DeMartini. That's the only rat that's in the house.
It'll be like Dave's Ark, you know. Only
So now I have 2 cats and a dog in here. I'm waiting for one more cat to come in, and then the rest of the house could blow up.
Dave, you need to get another cat. You got to name it Gary. You got Sammy and Ed, so you got to get Gary.
Yeah.
Gary would be the
And I
outcast.
have Alex too.
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, that's right. Gary would be the outcast, though. Nobody would like him. He'd be the one that gets picked on all the time.
Alberto's asking about the Frankenstrat and the red gemstone. What's the story behind that?
That used to be, well, actually, Dave, I guess the only thing I'll say, and Dave, you can take it from here because my knowledge on this was a little limited, and you corrected me, but it used to be, I believe, a rhinestone, a red rhinestone was in there, and then the rhinestone fell off, and it was the white residue or paint or sticker piece that was left over, which is what the white is now, correct?
Yeah, it wasn't even. It was. It had taken the red paint with it. So
Okay.
it's just a little white circle from the white paint of Eddie painting the guitar white.
Yeah. Okay.
And the reason he put that gemstone in there to begin with is so that it would refract the lights, when they're on stage, and it would, it would shine. It would like throw out some sort of prism into the crowd or wherever, depending on what lights hit the guitar. Same thing as the reflectors on the back of the guitar.
Right.
Same type of deal. And I imagine at some point it got lost somewhere.
If you can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, it just looks black. It just looks like a black page.
No, look right next to the low E string. See that red circle?
Yeah, that's when it was a rhinestone or a pearl.
That's it.
Pearl, yeah. Yep,
That's
what.
right there, next to the low E string.
Yeah.
Hey Johnny, hold that picture up for one more second. Dave, while you're looking at it, this is one question I've always was curious about, and it still looks this way to this day. The Floyd pivot posts on the Frankenstrat appear to be black.
They are.
Yeah,
they are black.
And now the paint is just worn off, correct?
No, they're still black. They're they're probably a little more rusted today.
Yeah.
But they are still the same black posts.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
there.
That's what I
In
figured.
fact, in this picture here, those posts are not in the right spot, and the guitar was about 5 cents sharp, intonated. So the guitar was never intonated back then. That's why a lot of times the guitar sounded out of tune a little bit.
Right.
And part of the when the guitar went to Tom Anderson in '86, part of the whole thing with getting the new neck put on is that they doweled those holes and made new holes and set it up so that the guitar would intonate correctly.
Right.
They moved the holes closer to the neck because they were back too far.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you listen to like him playing back in the Diver Down era. That makes sense because for some reason it was always the funniest thing about a lot of the live shows that I have. When you listen to Eddie play, he goes out of tune quite frequently with a Frankenstrat. And it was funny because after his guitar solo in the Diver Down tour, and this is the Sao Paulo show, the Argentina show. Well, actually, I'm tired. Those two were the Kramer ad guitars. The Largo, Maryland show. And there's a couple of others where he actually played the Frankenstrat. He played the Kramer ad guitar during the South American leg of the Diver Down tour, but in the American version of that tour, it was so funny because he'd do his guitar solo, and even in the US Festival, it was the same thing. He'd go into Ain't Talking About Love right after the guitar solo, and he was way out of tune, especially on the B and high E string. And a lot of that, and sometimes the G string as well, and a lot of that was because he would abuse the hell out of that bar on his guitar solo. So by the time he hit Ain't Talking About Love, you could tell he was hitting those fine tuners on the fly, during Ain't Talking About Love to kind of bring it back into balance again. That makes sense, Dave, what you said as far as those posts being out, because you sit there and you abuse the hell out of that bar, and then the next song he was out of tune. So I'm sure the work that Tom Anderson did on that guitar certainly helped it.
Yeah, I mean, but even before that, the guitar itself, it would be in tune in the cowboy cards, but up here, it would be out of tune because it's not. The posts weren't in the right spot. They were too far back. They were, when whoever put the original Floyd Roses on, they drilled the holes in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
So even at the beginning of his show, the thing is, Eddie was always so good at hiding his guitar from being out of tune. Like when he would solo, you couldn't really tell because he was so good at bending notes into tune,
right,
that it was very hard to tell if it was out of tune. So when the guitar was even slightly out of tune, like after a guitar solo, it would be even worse.
Yeah.
Because it was out of tune to begin with.
Right.
So and that was since the very beginning. The very first Floyd Rose he put on that guitar is when it happened.
Yeah.
So, until about 86, he was, whenever he used that guitar, it would always be slightly out of tune. But, like I said, since he was so good at, he was good at hiding it. He was good at, compensating so that it sounded in tune always.
Right. And that's actually something that a lot of people actually forget about.
Yeah.
With Eddie, he was a master bender. He really was. He knew how to hit those notes. I mean, the guy learned on Les Pauls, in those 335s.
Yeah. Sit down. Ah, that's nice. Thank you. You hear her talking?
Dave, is that you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Brandy.
It is Brandy. She had her nails clipped yesterday, and she had a bunch of stuff done at the vet. So now you can't hear her coming or going anymore.
Yeah. What else you got, Larry? Anything?
I got all kinds of guitars here.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff hanging on the wall. It almost looks like some sort of music store.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got Paul Reed Smith, SEEG. They made that for 3 years. Hardtail. I got one of those. I got I picked up a Cort Gene Simmons axe because they're not making them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not to play it, but just to have it. What else? I got a DBZ Diamond Hailfire.
Nice.
Spalt maple top on it. I picked that up in December. I got an old Charvette.
Cool.
I like the cheap Charvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's made in USA. Like a mustard crackle color.
Nice.
Couple Strats.
What's that white guitar? It looks like white, or is that silver?
The white one's an American Standard, and I put a custom 69, custom shop 69s in it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mid-creek.
Are they wound by Abigail?
Yeah, they're signed by her on the back. They're signed by her and dated on the back of them.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. I got some ESPs and a Martin 000.
Very
acoustic.
cool.
An old Ovation.
Mm-hmm. Is that a standing one?
What's that?
Beautiful.
No. Now I get it. I had to get these guitars off the floor. I was telling Johnny before, so I did that guitar slat wall.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks good. I like that.
Yeah, I love
15 of them up there now, and now I got that floor space so I could put the amps down there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, that's using your noggin, you know?
How many guitars total you have, Larry? Again?
19.
19. Yep.
I need more Kramers.
Yeah, they're out there. You can find them.
Especially now. Especially now. Nobody wants those pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Except me.
I remember going to a store. There was a mall in Neptune that had a. It was a mall and it had a music store in it, and they sold Kramer's. Remember seeing the old Night Swan in there.
Oh yeah, I always wanted one of those. Always.
That thing just jumped off the wall when.
Man, I always wanted the blue one with white polka dots. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was a black one with blue polka dots. Always wanted one of those.
Yeah, there's.
If anyone out there has a Night Swan black with blue polka dots that you want to sell, I'll take one of those. And if anyone has a USA PV Wolfgang in green special flat top, I'll take one of those. I'd gladly buy both. Let me know. Hit me up. Serious. All seriousness.
Hey, Dave, guess what?
I know. I know. Did you get it yet? Is it home? Is it there?
No, I'm probably
Then
gonna.
you don't have it yet.
Probably gonna snag it next week. He
Yeah.
actually texted me today, and he wanted to know what the time frame was, and I said I'll catch you next week. So.
Well, if you don't, send him my way, and I'll write him a check right away.
Yeah. What are you up to for numbers now, Dave, with your new toy?
I don't even know, but I'm gonna. The three of us, me, you, and Johnny, are gonna be -1 soon. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, understood. Understood.
Yeah, I don't know how many I have. It's like 45 or 46. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I have to, I've got a few guitars in different homes, and different people are either borrowing them, or I have a couple getting worked on by people. I've got a Kramer, an '83 Kramer Carrera. That's been at my tech's house for 9 summers. 9 summers. Waiting for frets. So, I don't know what the deal is. I keep on messing for, trying to ask him for it. And,
Dude, can you hear me? I have a
Yeah,
guitar
yeah.
I have a guitar that I left for somebody to paint for me. That was 18 years ago.
Yeah, you can consider that thing but gone. Thing is, I go to my buddy's house from time to time, and it's just there, sitting there in parts. I'm like, the
I
dust-
took a guitar to
there's
get
more
fixed at the
dust.
store one time. They misplaced it. It's been 12
crazy.
years.
Crazy.
I've lost all
It's-
kinds of guitars, different places. I've given guitars, I've left guitars at people's houses, and it's just, there's probably like 4 or 5 guitars that I've owned that are just like, I have no idea where they are.
It's crazy.
You know?
Absolutely crazy.
Good ones too. A couple of them, really good ones that I missed that I really wish I had now, but they're just gone. And amps. I've had amps disappear. People, walk off with. I had a really cool PV. The little Tweed. Was it a Classic 20?
Classic 30.
The 30?
Yeah.
It was a
Classic
small
30.
one. It wasn't
I
the
don't think
bigger
they
one.
made. I don't think they made a Classic 20. Maybe they did.
It was whatever the smallest one was, like a
I thought it was a
112.
Classic 30.
It was either one of those. Yeah, I had one of those. Somebody walked off with it.
Man,
It was a great
I don't
amp
know.
too. I thought it was great.
I don't know. PV and great amp in the same sentence. I don't know, man.
Look out, Hef's gonna be looking at this.
Yeah, I know. That's gonna come to the computer.
Dude,
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
gonna come at you with a pole.
I don't know. Last week I was his hero. Now he's gonna kill me. I don't think so.
No, but PV amps are great, man.
Yeah.
They are. When I met Hartley PV at NAMM a few years ago, that's the one thing I said. I'm like, dude, I've been using your stuff for so many years.
Yeah.
Great quality stuff. I mean, it's all American,
Yeah.
or was. I don't know.
No, I think it still is. He's got a bunch of people that he whips with chains and whips to build those things.
Oh my gosh. All right, I got a couple questions, real quick. Bruce Wayne. Do you guys think EVH will come out with other famous Eddie guitars for the Stripe series And if so, which guitar do you think would be next?
I can't discuss
if
that.
you want to answer that.
Can't discuss it.
My my only answer to that, and I won't discuss it either, but my only answer to that will be yes, there will be more. I just have a gut feel.
And
I just don't want to be. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to say anything that I could lead to be wrong. I don't want to. We'll see what. Yeah, I agree with Rob. I think there will be more, and we'll see what happens in January. We'll see what happens in January.
Cool. The Awesome Jackie? Is that your name? AWSOM. Is that how you spell awesome? Isn't there an E in there?
Well, I don't know.
AWSOME?
It's awesome that you can spell it that way.
Okay. The Awesome Jackie, 18 minutes ago, said, "Hey guys, I've got a question about the 1984 reissue Floyd Rose. What size tremolo blocks does the bridge come with? Question mark. And does it fit straight into a PV Wolfgang special?" Thank
Wait,
you.
what block? What is that? Is that the question? What block does it
What
come
size
with?
block does the reissue 84 Floyd
It comes
come
with a 37 millimeter block. 37 millimeter big brass block.
And do you think that would fit straight into a Floyd PV Wolfgang special branded Floyd?
It should. It should fit.
It's hard to say.
It should fit.
You can go to FU Tone's website, and they actually have a page where they show you all their different blocks and what they will fit.
Well, no. I think the question is, I don't think he. I think he wants to know if a 1984 reissue Floyd Rose will fit on a PV special guitar. And I think it will. He wants to know what size the block is on that Floyd, and will that Floyd Rose fit?
Oh, yeah.
Will it retrofit?
You'll be doing this, and you'll just be like hitting the body in the back.
I think it will, but I don't know. I would measure twice and cut once. Always measure twice. Not that you're cutting anything, but measure twice before you pull the trigger and buy one of those.
I don't see why it wouldn't. It should be pretty standard, and I agree with Dave. I also put the only thing I will say is this: the Floyd should fit the body, and for some reason, if you get the Floyd and the Floyd fits the body, but the block doesn't fit the PV because it's too big or whatever, and as you're doing bar dives, the block's wailing against the body, just talk to Adam Reaver from FU Tones, and he will send you the right size block, and that block, any block, will fit on that Floyd. But on my old green PV Wolfgang USA Special, which I'm going to be getting back, I had a Adam Reaver big brass block put on that, and I do believe, I don't want to throw a number out, but I could be wrong, but I think it was a 37 millimeter.
Probably was, because that's the standard. 37 standard, 42 is a longer one for like a 2-inch thick body.
Yeah, and you're right, Dave. And when I talked to Adam a couple of years ago, when I got the block, he sent me what I needed for the PV, and I just took the Floyd apart and I put the block on, and it fits right in, and it's still on that guitar today, and it works great.
The only issue you might have, and I'm not talking about you, Rob. Who asked the question?
Awesome somebody.
The Awesome Jackie.
All right, Jackie. The only issue
Awesome,
you might have is the posts, the existing posts on your PV, maybe a little farther or a little closer together, and that's with those PV Wolfgang Floyd Roses, the bass side is going to be like the bass side knife edge is going to be straight all the way to the end. So because they never had, there was never an exact measurement of how far away the posts were. So
here's
so
mine
so
right here.
you'll have a little bit of room. Am I right about that, John?
Uh-oh.
Just lost Dave.
The awesome Jackie just took him out. Oh, there he is.
No, that was me. I hit the wrong button.
There we go. Well, that's what mine looks like right there.
Yeah, you see the your base side of the Floyd, how it doesn't wrap around the pole. It's just a long straight knife edge there.
I don't know, but I need to work out more. I'll
Dude.
tell you that.
Dude, look at your Floyd. Look at your Floyd. Look at the Floyd Rose.
Ugh.
On
Huh?
the base side. Does the knife edge wrap all the way around the screw or not?
No, it's just on
Exactly.
it's just on the bottom.
Exactly. So that's because there was no specific length, from screw to screw. So
Length?
it gives you a little bit of leeway for that Floyd to fit on there. Now with a regular Floyd Rose, both sides
Have
of
the
the
notch.
Floyd wrap around the thing,
The post.
the post. So
What
that might be the only issue.
What I can tell you, though, is I think it would fit, because if you go the other way, my new Wolfgang Tobacco EVH model, I put a PV Wolfgang Floyd Rose on that, and that fits perfect.
Yeah, I understand that, but a PV Floyd Rose is going to fit on any guitar because no matter where the posts are, you have that one side that doesn't
goes
wrap
around.
around, so you have a little bit of leeway.
Right. I see exactly what you're saying, Dave. You're right, because you have more fluctuation with a PV because it just goes right off the side, and you have that whole section.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
That's exactly what you're talking about. But I will say, though, I'm pretty sure those Floyds are all pretty standard as far as, marking up with that. So I don't see why that 84 reissue wouldn't fit. I think it probably will. It seems to me, though, I mean, isn't the Music Man like that too? And Johnny, you put a standard Floyd on your Music Man, so yeah, it will fit, right?
Yeah, but the Music Man, it's a flat. It's just flat top. There's there's nothing.
There's no route. Right. There's no route.
There's an actual route.
Right.
That this bridge sits in.
Yep.
That could be a problem, though, couldn't it? Like, see, there's a route.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I noticed on Rob's guitar is that the PV Floyd,
Yeah. Let me go get it.
it kind of doesn't fit in the route of that guitar.
Right, and I'm gonna show you that right now. I had that guitar professionally set up by the guy that the professional luthier that does all my work for me, a couple towns away, and I said that to him, and he said to me, he goes, that will not make a bit of difference because he set it up so it was going to be just fine. But let me show you what I'm talking about on that guitar.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. We have like 10, 11 people looking at us.
Awesome.
If you have any questions, for Larry Riker about his awesome guitars, feel free to leave them in the comments.
Okay, this is my EVH Wolfgang Mexican archtop guitar that I got maybe a couple of months ago. I got it because I liked how it resembled a PV Wolfgang, just like Johnny's that he dropped on the floor. And I love that guitar, Johnny. And because I wanted it to kind of resemble a PV, because I do like the PVs as well, and I've owned many PV Wolfgangs, standards and specials, I got a PV Floyd Rose for this guitar because I really didn't like the black hardware. And you guys know, I put the kill switch in it and everything and did a little bit of other work to it, but I had it professionally set up, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it does have a route. But the bridge actually, and it sits flush on the body. It does not fit completely in the route. But it still sits flush on the body. But it absolutely plays great. And like I said, it was set up by a professional luthier. And he told me that would not, you can see there's a good picture right there.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, he told me there would not be any problem with it at all. And he just made a couple of adjustments, put a shim on the neck and everything. And as you can tell, the action is super, super low. It doesn't fret out or buzz or anything. And it plays fantastic. So even though there is a route in that guitar, this PV did fit, and even it still misses the route, but it's still low enough, and everything lines up just right. So I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem. Oh, sorry about that. Someone's trying to call my cell phone. So I think that would be okay. It might need a little bit of setup, but I think it would work.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Didn't you have to split, Rob?
Yeah. I gotta run in about 1 minute here. Did you guys want to stay on, or did you want to wrap it up?
I have. What time is it?
5:30 our time, Dave.
5:30. I have about 15 minutes that I can spare, so I can stay on if you guys want to stay on for about 15 minutes.
All right.
Sure.
Guys, I will be around later.
And I won't be. I'm going to be gone until about 11 o'clock our time.
Okay. I will be around tomorrow, Dave and Johnny. Give me a holler if you guys want.
Tomorrow is Easter, and we have. You're more than welcome to do that. Hang out with us with Larry.
Cool.
Another Larry.
Hey, Larry, you're coming back tomorrow. Did you know that?
Is Larry the cable guy, or?
No, Larry Mitchell. We're doing Larry Mitchell tomorrow.
Yeah, give me a holler what time you're doing it.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll be around. I should be around.
Okay.
Larry, I just wanted to say it was great to meet you, sir, and that Kramer you have is absolutely phenomenal. That's a great piece of history, and it's awesome that you had it since day one and you still have it. And the only piece of advice I'd give you is don't ever get rid of it because it's got some serious history behind it.
Yeah, and next time let's do another one of these where it's together, and let's hear it.
We can do that.
I would like to, I'd love to hear that guitar, and I'd love to see it together with strings on it.
We
You're
can do
asking
that.
a lot, Dave. No, I agree. Yeah, I'd love to see it together as well, and I'd love to see it all set up, and I'd love to hear it.
Actually, you know what I think is before you go, Rob, why don't we end it here? Because while I have you and Johnny on this thing, I'd like to talk to you about what I want to do, and I can't really talk about it while we're live.
Sure, no problem. I know what you're
All right, so we'll say goodbye. Also, the awesome Jackie says their PV is the export model that has the flat top.
Okay. Well,
So
then it should definitely fit, and it should
Nice
rest
edges
right on
wrap around
top.
the post, both sides. Thanks for the info on the block. Just had to make sure it would fit. Awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool, awesome Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
Cool. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to split because we gotta talk about something real quick off camera. Larry, great having you on this thing, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Larry, thank you so much, man. It was a
Awesome.
pleasure.
Awesome
talking
Kramer,
to you and looking
dude.
at your guitar.
Absolutely.
I know we were talking about your guitar on this for a little while now, so it's good to finally do it, you know?
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for everybody's input. Dating this thing is pretty cool. Getting it, we think it's an '83. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not an maybe an '84, but no younger than that. It's probably an '83.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's an '83, but I know you bought it in '85, but '85 the headstock would have been different by then, and the logo would be different by then.
Yeah.
So at the very least, it's an '84, but it's probably an '83.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
A lot of Kramers, a lot of guitars, they make them a certain year, and then they're sitting there in a store for like 2-3 years. And
Yeah.
by then, they totally change out the models, what they're doing. But so you can get a guitar and think, oh, I got this in '86. It must be an '86, but it could actually be like an '83, something
Right.
or other, you know.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome. Good luck with that guitar.
Yes, and I think we had some more. Mike Cheever says, "What's up, guys? 5150." Hey, Mike.
Aren't we supposed to all go crazy when someone says 5150?
Josephus mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to shave your head or grow a rat tail. Mario says, thanks, guys. Great show. Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome, everybody. All right, Johnny Bean, Rob Johnson, Larry Riker, David Nesdahl. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see everybody soon. Please like, share, subscribe if you dig this stuff, because we love doing this stuff, and you'll see more of it. All right, Johnny Bean, JohnnyBean, JohnnyBean.com. Bye.
Take it easy.
Rock on.